My name is Shamina binti Masazurodwan. Today I'm gonna present to you what is prime cost sum and provisional sum. In construction, managing costs is important from start to finish, but not everything can be decided at the beginning. Some items or works detail are left open. That's why contracts often includes prime cost sum and provisional sum. Prime cost sum are used for things like tiles or light the client will choose later. The contract includes an estimate and the final cost is adjusted once the actual items are picked. For provisional sum are for works that hard to price on early on, like landscaping and utilities. These are rough estimates which is will update later when more information available. Both are explained in PWD 203A and PALM 2006, and they help keep project flexibility while managing risk and responsibilities.
Next, for method of study, we have document reviews. Documents such as construction drawing, provisional sum, prime cost sum, monthly site report, and picture were acquired at site office. Second, books or internet. Books and internet were used as reference to get more information about this topic of report. Internet is the easiest way to reach about what we didn't know because usually people gain information through internet. Lastly, we have interview session. Interview session was conducted with Mr. Azhan, the project manager at Raju Construction Sdn Berhad. Mr. Azhan also shared real-life example for his ongoing projects, which help in understanding the implications of these cost components on budgeting, tendering, and contract administration. The information gathered from this interview provided valuable context to support the theoretical aspect of the assignments.
For the scope of study, this study focused on gaining a clear understanding of the concept and practical use of prime cost sum and provisional sum in construction projects. It covered their definition, key differences, significance, benefits, and how they are applied in cost estimation and contract documentation. To support the research, primary data was gathered through an interview with a project manager from Teraju Construction Sdn Berhad, offering practical insights on the real-life application and management of these sums on site. The study also reviews key contract documents, specifically the PM 2006 and PWD 2003A 2010 standard form of contracts to examine how these elements are addressed during both the tender and construction phase.
Next is three objectives for this topic, which is first, to explain the relevant clauses related to prime cost sum and provisional sum in construction contracts. The second one is to identify the procedure for claiming prime cost sum and provisional sum during a project. And the last one is to evaluate the differences, advantage, disadvantage, and overall importance of prime cost sum and provisional sum in contract administration.
Next, for case of study, this case of study were held at Cyberjaya under Teraju Construction Sdn Berhad. The title of this project is Cadangan Pembangunan Data Center beserta pejabat secara berfasa. This report refers to case study work to construction of data center at Cyberjaya Sepang. The Cyberjaya area in the Sepang district is a rapidly developing township and a key part of Malaysian Multimedia Super Corridor in southern Selangor. This project is commissioned by the Accountant General Department of Malaysia. As a significant and high-value government-funded development, it aims to provide modern and efficient facilities to support the operations of the National Institute of Accountants and other related agencies. This construction work is within 1 year and 2 months to complete using industrial building system from May 2024 to July 2025.
For the clause in prime cost sum and provisional sum, In PAM 2006, Clause 11.4, it states that prime cost sum are sums included in the contract for the supply of materials or goods to be selected by the architect or other consultant. It excludes the cost of fixing, profit, and attendance, which are added separately. In the prime cost sum in PWD 2003A 2010, in clause 34.1, it states that prime cost sum refers to an allowance for the supply of materials or goods by a nominated supplier, with the contractor being paid the actual cost plus a percentage for profit, overheads, and attendance as specified in the contract. For the clause in provisional sum, clause in PAM 2006, clause 11.5 state that this clause deals with provisional sums stated in the contract bills. It mentioned that provisional sums are included for work to be executed by the contractor or nominated subcontractor or supplier. The actual work and costs will be directed by the architect, and the final value is subject to architect's instruction. For the clause 34.2 in PWD 2003A 2010, it states that provisional sum is an estimated amount included in the contract for work to be carried out under the direction of the superintending officer, with payment based on actual cost plus a state percentage for profit, overhead, and attendance.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Alif Fatimiti Abonipa, and I'm going to talk about the claiming of prime cost sum and provisional sum. In construction project, especially those involving in the industrial building system or IBS, prime cost sum PCS and provisional sum PS are crucial component listed in the bill of quantities. PCS refers to an estimated cost for specific items like pre-cost wall or staircase supplied by the third parties, where the exact details are unknown at the time of the contract signing. Contractor can claim the PCS amount based on the actual invoice from the supplier, as long as it stays within the allocated budget. If the cost exceeded the allowance, a variety order approved by the consultant is required. On the other hand, provisional sum is a budgeting amount for works that are known but not fully detailed at the tender stage, such as external drainage or rainwater harvesting system. PS claim can be only made after the consultant instructs the work to proceed and the work is completed. Claim must be supported by the site valuation, photograph, and consultant approval. Overall accurate records, including invoice and site instruction, are essential for smooth processing and the payment of PCS and PS claim in the IBS construction project. So as
The main difference between a prime cost sum and a provisional sum is in their purpose of how they are used in a construction contract. A prime cost sum refers to a budgeted amount set aside for specific materials or items that have not been chosen yet at the time the contract is signed. These items are usually things like sanitary fittings, tiles, or kitchen appliances. The PC sum only includes the cost of supplying the item. It does not cover the cost of installation or related works. On the other hand, a provisional sum is an estimated amount included in the contract for work that is not fully detailed or confirmed when the contract is made. This may include things like landscaping, external works, or additional drainage where the exact scope is still unclear. The provisional sum usually includes both the supply and the labor costs for completing the works. In simple terms, prime cost sum are for items you know you will need but haven't chosen yet, and the provisional sums are for works you know might happen but are not yet confirmed. Both help the contractor and client to manage costs and change during the construction process.
After that, for advantage and disadvantages of provisional sum. First, flexibility for undefined work to allow inclusion of work that is not yet fully detailed at the same time of tender, such as landscaping or specialist installation. Second, enables early contract finalization. Contractors can price their project without waiting for every scope detail to be finalized. Third, client can decide later, give the client or consultant more time to make informed decision. Fourth, avoids delay in project commencement. The project can start without needing to confirm every element upfront. Fifth, adjustable during the project. The value can be revised based on actual work done with proper variation procedures. 6. Helps in budgeting forecasting. Even if the scope is not final, clients can still estimate a reasonable overall project cost. And for disadvantages, first, uncertainty in final cost. Since the scope is not fully known, the actual cost might be much higher than the provisional amount. Second, potential disputes may lead to disagreement on the scope of work and the valuation between contractor and client. Third, can delay execution. If decision on provisional sum items are delayed, it can impact progress and scheduling. Fourth, requires detailed valuation letter. Engineers or quantity surveyors must access and approve the actual value during execution, which can be time consuming. Fifth, misuse risk. If not managed properly, provisional sum can be used to hide extra costs or cause budget overrun. Lastly, can create tender confusion. Some contractor may interpret the provisional sum differently, affecting tender comparisons. Next, for advantage and disadvantages of prime cost sum. Advantage first allows client choice. Client can choose exact material types later based on latest preference or trends. Second, control basic costs. Set a starting point for cost estimation even if the actual material is undecided. Third, improve product quality. Client can select high quality material to suit their standards within a fixed budget. Fourth, give time for decision making. Clients don't have to rush to pick finishes at tender stage. Fifth, easy to update. Contractor can adjust when the actual product is selected through variation orders. 6. Clear separation of supply and installation. Helps in organizing scope between supplier and contractor. And for disadvantages, final cost might vary. If item chosen costs more than provisional sum, the client must pay the difference. Second, mismatch installation. Contract might face delays or difficulties if items selected hard to install or arrive late. Third, fluctuation risk. Material prices may increase before selection made, leading to cost issues. Fourth, lack of price certainty. Overall contract value can become less predictable due to multiple of provisional sums. Fifth, disputes over allowance. Differences in understanding what is included in the provisional sum may lead to argument. The last one, variation process needed. Any price difference must go through variation approved, which may delay payments.
Let's take a quick look at why prime cost sum and provisional sum are so important in construction project. Prime cost sum give client the flexibility to choose finishes like tiles or fitting later without slowing down the project. They also provide budget transparency by including estimated costs upfront. This keeps the workflow smooth and build trust. As a client, know how final prices will be calculated with the actual cost plus overhead and profit. On the other hand, provisional sum are used when some work can be fully defined at the start, like site works or landscaping. They help manage risks, keep the project moving, and support better cost planning with placeholder estimates.
Conclusion, PCS is a cost allowance for item like sanitary fitting or machinery that will be chosen later by the client or architect. It covers under Clause 11.4 of PAM 2006 and Clause 34.1 of PWD 203A. Meanwhile, PS is a set amount of work not fully detailed at the tender stage, like landscaping or temporary facilities, and is stated under Clause 11.5 of PAM 2006 and Clause 34.2 of PWD 203A. A case study from Teradi Construction Sedan Berhad shows how both PCS and PS help projects stay flexibility in terms of budgeting and scheduling. However, if not managed properly, they can lead to the cost overrun or delays. So, clearly understanding and carefully control of PCS and PS are key to smooth project execution.